Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. Download your starter guide to discover and master this amazing deck, and don't forget to get your Astro Clock journal for the new year. Welcome to your new weekly reading. We are doing an extended line of 5 today with Titania's deck. And as normal, we're going to start with you, Aries, and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aries, this is looking pretty. We have quite a few really bright cards. The Sun, the Star, and Clover are very strongly positive cards. And we have the beautiful Moon, which is a gentle energy. We have the Clouds, which is a little bit complicated, but it's really not a big deal, especially considering everything else that's going on. Now, in the middle, we have the Tower. And the Tower is one of those neutral cards that can mean a bunch of things. And the Tower is, in this case, a reference to your sense of patience and the sense of the long view or the long game. It is a card of time and things panning out over a longer period of time. And it can also represent the past, as well as the idea of anything administrative or formal or official, including work environments and organizations, corporations, places like that. Now, I feel because of the beautiful cards here around, this is going to be a reference to something from the past or this long view, but it can also refer to the other aspects of the Tower. So let's start with the row and put together the lines, and then we'll look at the different possibilities here. So the Moon and Sun is often a combination of love. Because of the archetypal Sun and Moon coming together, it points to a relationship. So this can be a long-term relationship, or it could be a relationship from the past. And you could also be on the right track, Aries, heading in the right direction, being successful, and really aligning with your goals. Now, the Road and Clover is lovely for being on the right track. The Clover is one of the luckiest cards, and with the Tower and Road, especially empowered by these positive cards here, it points that you are on the right track and that you are going to achieve your goals, or, it's going to reach to the destination that you're after. I have to say, though, Aries, that the Clover can be an element of surprise. It is, after all, the card of fortune and luck. So the thing about the Clover is that it's generally very positive, but it can suggest that things turn out in a way that's a little bit different from what you initially thought. So it's good to keep an open mind. It's also a happy-go-lucky card, and it's also about giving this path a chance. So trust the process. I have to say, the Tower is also one of those cards, and the Star can also very much support this element of faith and trusting life. Now, the Star with the Clouds is, the Star with the Tower is lovely for your long-term goals and success, and the Clouds can muddy this a little bit. But I also have to say that this could be an opportunity, Aries, to clarify your vision for the long term. Another way we can look at this is if the Tower points to the past. So the past could be on your mind. Maybe there's a hanging issue or something pending or something potentially unresolved. And the thing about the Star is that this is definitely an opportunity for healing, moving on, letting go, and getting clarity. So very beautiful. Now, the Sun with the Star into the Road and Clouds is also very beautiful. Mainly these two cards being so strongly positive, they really shine on everything else, even the clouds. So the Road with the Clouds or the Sun with the Clouds can mean that the path ahead is a little bit bumpy. There can be some unknown factors. But again, Aries, with the Clover at the end of your line, this is definitely a suggestion to give it a chance and have as much foresight as possible, clarify things as much as possible, but chances are, Aries, that whatever little issues or problems or question marks, doubts that are ahead, they're not a deal breaker, not by any stretch. The Moon with the Star, Clover, and Clouds is similar because we have the same clouds functioning in the same way here, but these are very beautiful cards. The Moon can point to an offer. With the Star, it could be something that you've been wanting that materializes. And certainly with the Clover, it really supports this idea. And the Clouds is a card of doubts and confusion, and it tends to point to that tension, usually of the psychological kind. But because of all of these bright cards, you're definitely going to figure out, Aries, and whatever question marks you have, you're going to find answers. Another thing to keep in mind, Aries, is that you don't want to doubt yourself. In fact, the Clouds with the Clover is often a message to stop the negative self-talk, to stop the doubts that there's more working out for you than you may realize. So it's a very good reminder to trust the process, to appreciate that you're doing well and that you're on the right track. So really nice cards to move you forward and to align you with your longer term vision. And like I said, it's an opportunity to clarify any doubts. Now, another thing, Aries, is that if we took the moon and sun as some kind of a relationship, whether a love relationship or another kind of relationship, it suggests that it has a really good chance of moving forward positively. And also, if this is a past issue or something that had been pending from the past, you resolve it and you're able to move forward. So again, another message to give it a chance. And like I said at the outset, the Tower can take on a few different meanings. So we covered a couple already. If the Tower is about formal organizations or work environments and, those sorts of official places and situations, it's another very positive message. You could maybe bring something up to someone at a higher level, or an expert or some kind of consultant, or maybe the person you're working with for this situation, and you're probably going to find answers. They're probably going to help you resolve your questions. Might take a bit of patience, a bit of cooperation, but definitely it's on the right track. So keep moving forward, Aries. Keep trusting your process and align with your higher goals. And I would say, if there's anything hanging from the past, trust that you can move on. Trust that you can move on. Really nice cards, Aries. Let me know how they played out for you. I really feel there's a spiritual dimension here, like an inner dimension. I hope this resonates with you. Again, I look forward to your comments. Thank you as always for tuning in. Very best of luck. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking all great except for the whip at the end of this line. Now, it's not really nice to see it at the end of the line on the right-hand side, but there's a lot of cards that are going to support you with this, and I'm really questioning if that might be something you need to do. What is that thing you need to do? Let's wait until we get to it. In the middle, we have the dog. The dog is a great card for friendship, loyalty. It can represent you, the other person. It can also suggest that you approach things with a friendly attitude. It is also a collaborative kind of energy. Now, the child and tree is very much about a new beginning. And with the dog, it could be a new relationship. Now, it's really curious that we have the clover and whip here, because it can mean that this is not the best of relationships. The whip can suggest obstacles, challenges, usually arguments and disagreements. Now, what I'm thinking is, because the garden with the dog and anchor is a strong connection, and it's like you're getting together here, there could be an issue that comes up with the person, but because of the clover and the other solid cards, which are mainly the tree and anchor, it points to not a deal breaker, or something comes up and it's not a huge issue on the relationship, especially, since this is a new relationship, or maybe it's heading in a new direction, or there's new steps with a person. You might not have all of the answers, and that's fine. And some problem can come up, but it's not a deal breaker. The clover is also good at reducing the effect of the whip. And also, it is a card that challenges negative thinking. So it's a good idea to approach things in a more positive, with a more positive mindset, and that's going to downsize the situation. Another suggestion that comes to mind, Taurus, is if someone tries to challenge you or to affect you in a negative way, well, you have protection. The clover is a card of protection, and the anchor is really good for boundaries. So depending on the specific scenario for you, Taurus, it's looking good either way, even if there's the whip in the cards. Now, the tree, garden, clover, and anchor is lovely for connections, for being part of a supportive environment. The garden is a card of community, places, people, it's that card of networking and interaction. And with the tree and anchor, which are very solid and anchored card, the beautiful clover, it sounds like you're feeling that you're part of this environment. Like you feel like you have a good situation in it. You feel good in it. You're part of it. Now, the child with the garden, whip, and anchor is another similar message to the middle row. So it looks like it's a new environment, a bit like it's a new relationship. And the child and anchor are very much about being solid and sticking with it, even if there's the whip at the end of the line. So you could be moving into a new relationship or a new environment, meeting people in some kind of place. And there could be an issue that comes up, but the cards are telling you not to be distracted by it or to feel that this is a message that you need to change directions or look in another way. There is an issue, but first, it doesn't affect you, or if it does, you're protected. And second, you want to overcome whatever the issue or problem that comes up. So again, this is a really helpful line to give you perspective. And it is also a line that encourages you to reach out, to be with others, to get involved, and to make connections. So if it's a bit of a mixed bag at first, that's fine, Taurus. Let it go and maintain that positive perspective. And if it's someone trying to negatively affect you, then realize that you have protection and that you have good boundaries. And if it's anything like competition or, people trying to annoy you or to spite you or to do anything like that, again, I'm seeing a strong energy of protection. Now, one more scenario that I can think of, and, you let me know what exactly played out for you, is maybe you're getting into a space or an environment to solve problems. Maybe you're invited as part of a team, or, you're getting involved, to bring your insights and your effort to the table. And, you could feel really good being part of this and working on this solution. So that too is possible. So overall, Taurus, don't be detracted by any issues that come up. You're probably in the right environment, in the right place. Give it a chance, and also have good boundaries in general, but also remember you're a friendly dog in the middle, which is collaborative and kind. So let me know how this played out for you. Very interesting set of cards, to be honest. I look forward to, how it played out for you specifically. Very best of luck with this, Taurus. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Gemini, look at this extended line of 5. This is a clear and certain ending. We have the coffin and scythe right at the end of the line. Not only do each cards point to a separation or a change or an ending, but together, it's a very powerful combination, and they're at the end of the line. So this is definitely a closure, a completion, and a release. Now, in the middle, we have the beautiful key. This is a very powerfully bright card. It is a card of intelligence, solutions, locking and unlocking. It's a very bright card that brings a lot of answers, opens doors, and all of that good stuff. And so when we see it with the coffin and scythe, it's very clear that you're closing something off. If we had the key on the other side, it could mean a breakthrough or an opening, but in this order, it's clearly a closure. Now, earlier, we have the fox and book. And this is an interesting pair because it can mean a few different things. The fox is sometimes a tricky and deceptive card. It can mean someone who is selfish or dishonest. And with the book here, it sounds like they could be keeping something from you. But with the key, it sounds like you figure it out. And maybe this is what leads you to draw a line with this person. It could be a situation also, not necessarily a specific person. So that's one thing. Another thing that you could be onto here, Gemini, is that maybe you're doing some research and you're going to figure things out, and that closes off the project and you've got answers and you're able to move on. So that is great. You could also be getting a work opportunity or some other kind of opportunity, whether it's a job or a project or a research thing or some kind of opportunity that makes sense in your context. And you could get one, and this could lead to a big change. And this is quite well supported by the column because we have the fish in it. The fish is the card of money and business and work. And with the fox, it clearly points to a source of income or a project or a straight up employment. So with the ship, key, and fish, this is lovely for money, for business, for doing well on your work, in your projects. Things are picking up and things are heading in the right direction. You also have the green light to pursue certain goals. So when we see this in the context of the coffin and scythe, it's very clear that you have an opportunity here, and this is going to lead to an ending. It's also likely, Gemini, that you've successfully completed something. So again, we're seeing this idea of getting to the bottom of something, a successful completion, which enables you to turn the page. And of course, they could be happening together, right? Like, you know, they tend to happen back to back. So these are lovely cards, Gemini. Let's see what the diagonals tell us. We've got the book, ship, and coffin, along with the fish. So the ship and coffin is very much the end of a journey. The fish and coffin is usually a wait for funds. Maybe that's what's happening, especially with the book, where things are not known, because the book tends to point to that mysterious element. But you could also, again, reach the completion of something and you achieve something. You could also be waiting to move in a new direction, which would make perfect sense in view of your success here. With the fox, ship, scythe, and fish, this is it's more about a change of direction as opposed to an ending when we're not looking at the coffin. So it's clear that you're in for something. And then with the fox and fish, this is great for money, jobs, projects, and it's also a really good combination for a good source of income or a new source of income and being on the right track, especially with the ship, which also supports this element of abundance and, you know, moving forward and traveling and going places, physically or metaphorically. So Gemini, these are really exciting cards. I know the coffin and scythe can come across as scary cards, but honestly, they're not. They just point to like a sharp ending, a sharp completion. And we see that it's a successful completion and that you're in for a breakthrough and a change. And also the cards are clear about this being focused on work, money, business, your research, you know, your productivity. So it's likely that this is the area you need to focus on. I'm not really seeing the relationship or people cards or romance cards, but in case there are people involved in the situation, or this is straight up about a certain connection, well, here maybe the cards take on a different energy, because ending cards are always a bit more difficult when it comes to people and relationships. But also, Gemini, the key in the middle is very clearly about success, and it gives you the answer. And it is also a card of trusting your instincts and knowing that you have the answers within you. So you need to make a clean break this week, and you need to make a serious change. And this, I think, comes with a lot of opportunity. So really nice cards, very exciting. You could be quite busy. Let me know what you make of this, Gemini. I always look forward to your comments if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Cancer, here is your line of 7, and it's quite exciting because we have the lovely stork at the end of the line here. The stork is a card of change, and seeing it after the clouds is even better, because the clouds, being a card of confusion, being stuck, maybe tense on the inside, especially mentally, the stork is really good at loosening up and releasing whatever could be holding you back or whatever you're stuck with. And the earlier cards are really nice because of the key mainly, which is a card of opportunity and unlocking doors. In the middle, we have the fox. This can mean a few different things. So let's just back up to the line. So the child and key is a new opportunity. Clearly, something is being unlocked for you. There is some kind of breakthrough. You have positive answers. The fox can be a card of jobs, or it can warn against someone who's deceptive, or maybe playing against you, or maybe there's a trap somewhere. And certainly with the clouds, this could be the idea. So when you have the child and key with the fox and clouds, and then the lovely stork, it's clear that you're going to find answers. You're going to resolve whatever doubts, and you're going to be able to make a change and move forward. Another way we can look at the line, mainly the fox, is that it can represent a job. So if you've got a new job opportunity or a new project, or perhaps there's a collaboration, you might initially have doubts, or there could be some obstacles in the way a little bit, but then you find a way through and you pick up and move forward with it. So that is a really encouraging line, and it clearly tells you to act on this. The clouds can mean that you are a bit confused or you have doubts, but it sounds like taking action is ahead and you're going to resolve whatever question marks you have. Now, the house with the fox and dog, this can also refer to a job situation, because the dog with the fox can mean a colleague or an employee or maybe a customer. And the house with the fox can represent like your job environment. It could be your home business or your team and so forth. So these are clear cards that you could be in for a project, Cancer. Again, if there are doubts, you move past them, and it sounds like it's going to be a collaborative opportunity. At the same time, Cancer, the fox being in the center of your spread, it's always good to maintain a bit of caution, especially since we have the clouds. It could highlight the idea of being a little bit suspect at first and maybe careful. So the fox is really good at being clever, diplomatic, tactful. So it's a good idea to adopt these strategies of the fox. Now, the key with the house, clouds, and dog, these are great cards. And again, the clouds, they muddy things a little bit. So perhaps this is an opportunity to debate things and discuss them. It sounds like you need to figure certain things out. And also, Cancer, it's a good idea to interact with others and to vocalize the issues and to try to understand what's going on. Again, maintaining that good strategy of being tactful and diplomatic. The child with the house and stork and dog, this is clear of a new beginning, a new change, and it could point to a new relationship. But something else that comes up with these cards, Cancer, is possibly a house move or even a pregnancy. So the child and stork are the classical combination of a pregnancy in Lenormand. So this is pretty specific, but it could apply to some of you. The house and stork is very much about a house move, and the child and house is a new home. So with the dog here, maybe you're renting or there's a new renter, or perhaps you've got a new place, that is possible. But like we saw with the other suggestions or ideas, it could be a new opportunity and there are changes in your work environment or in this space. So these are exciting cards, Cancer. They bring some kind of freshness into the situation. They call for some caution, but I think you get over this pretty quickly. So whether you're moving homes or you've got a new project or a new customer or a new connection in general, things move forward nicely. I would say embrace it. And if you have any doubts, see if you can clarify them together, or if you can make up your mind about something and then finally move past it. Because the stork at the end of the line is very encouraging, and it's very much also a card of being proactive. So take that step and move past any doubts and question marks. Let me know what you make of this, Cancer. These are interesting cards. They can take on a few different meanings. So I'd like to know what exactly resonated with you if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Leo, here is your extended line of 5, and we have the whip in here, which is a challenging card, and it comes with the book, whereas on the earlier side here, we have the beautiful star, which is a card of all-around success and wish fulfillment. So it's an interesting dynamic what's going on here. Let's see what's going on. But before we do, though, let's make a mention of this beautiful bear here. The bear is a card of strength and power. So with the whip, I really wonder, Leo, if you might be the one to have to crack the whip. Let's see. So the star and garden, this is lovely for success and also popularity, especially with the bear. There's a pretty good chance, Leo, that you could be in for some kind of popularity, or you could be known, you could become more influential. You could also get some kind of promotion in work or some kind of elevation or improvement, some kind of step up somewhere. And this is great for your success and also for being appreciated by others. You could be that famous person or maybe a go-to kind of person. Now with the whip and book, this is quite different here. So let's just keep those for a second. The whip and book is often making something known with force. So the book is a card of the unknown, but the whip really cracks it open. Now, there could be something here that you need to find out. So maybe now you're in a position of power to force something out into the open. And if you are in such a position, I would say, Leo, do that. Do that. And also, it's possible that there is some bad news. But if that's the case, you definitely have what it takes to handle it. What I'm thinking, because of this beautiful line that we'll get to in just a second, that the whip and book can be a powerful announcement that you make. It could come as a surprise, it could come as unexpected, and it could be a big deal for those around you. Now, what's going on here? We have the mountain and ship, and both cards can suggest travel. The ship is very much about, travel quite literally, and the mountain often represents a place in a farther location or abroad. And in fact, the bear and mountain can suggest someone who is based abroad. And the ship here is about moving forward and traveling and maybe exploring these locations. So this could be a big move or a big change, and you could be embracing, some kind of growth, really. Another thing is that the bear can represent powerful people. So if it's not you, Leo, it could represent powerful people, people of influence. And with the star and garden here, you have an opportunity to meet with one of them or someone or some kind of environment where these people are, or people who are relevant to you are. But I have to say the whip and book can be a bit of a surprise here, something unexpected, maybe something difficult, maybe a challenge. At the same time, with the mountain and ship, this could really move you forward. You could travel, you could find some kind of improvement, some kind of step up. So clearly with the bear in the middle, Leo, you need to be bold. You need to take a chance. You need to step up, whether it's you stepping up or stepping up to meet these people or taking steps or traveling or going places. You need to step up. You might misstep, or there might be an issue that comes up, or something disappoints, but it's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of the lesson. It's part of the growth. Now, the garden with the mountain, whip, and ship is another message that your exploration here or your growth can meet with some challenges. But again, I think you're definitely up to them. And also, Leo, you might be the one who needs to challenge the status quo or the situation. Again, the whip and book suggests that you're trying to force something out. The star with the mountain, book, and ship is lovely, even though we have the book at the end, which suggests something that is not yet known or something that needs to be discovered. The star and ship and mountain is clear that you are broadening your horizons. You're off on an adventure. And even if you don't know much about it right now, you want to move ahead. You want to move forward. And that was really clear, really, from the beginning, because the bear is in the middle and the star is here to really support it. So whatever challenge is ahead for you, Leo, you're definitely capable of dealing with it. And again, you might be the one who needs to crack the whip. This is a week for being bold. This is not about being shy at all. It's about being bold, out there, and loud. And if it means ruffling some feathers or challenging someone or something, or making an announcement that lands a bit heavy-handed on some people, that is fine. This is a week for you to step up and to be seen and to be heard, and also to tap into supportive people if that applies. So this is quite exciting, potentially, Leo, especially if you have that confident attitude about it. Now, in terms of context, I think all the contexts are possible here, but I feel that this idea of influence and popularity, it could be in your projects or in your work life or, in some area like that, as opposed to one-on-one relationships. With people, there can be some disappointing people, but this is another message to take a stand. Take a stand about anything that isn't aligned with you, with any negative people. And also, it's definitely a week for being honest. With the whip and book, it's about opening that book, and not in the gentlest of ways. It's not like we have the snake or the fox or, these quieter cards. No, these are bold, loud cards. So step up to this, Leo. Embrace your power. Don't shy away from the competition, from challenges or anything. This is for you to grow. And I certainly hope you embrace that. Let me know what you make of this. I'm very curious about your thoughts, how it resonated with you. Very best of luck with it. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Virgo, here is your extended line of 5, and it's quite straightforward. There's lots of news cards. The Rider and Bird are news and contact and communication cards. And the book is the Secret card or the card of the unknown. But when we see these cards here at the bottom on the right, they point to a revelation or contact. So it sounds like contact and communication probably from this person has been on hold, or you haven't heard from them for some time, but now the good news is here. So the man with the stork and book is someone who's going to come through, who's going to announce something, who's going to get in touch. And with the lily and bird, it's probably news about your work, your career, or something that affects your life in general. It could also be a combination for learning and teaching and maybe researching and doing these things. The Sun with the Book and Rider is also some very beautiful cards here. The Sun is a very bright card. It's really shining from the top down. And it points to some really good news, especially in this order. Now, if it were in the other way around, I would say maybe things are still on hold. But we've got the Rider after the Book and the beautiful Sun here, which brings light and understanding. So it's clear that there's news coming through, and by itself, this is good news, but also the news itself is looking to be positive. Now, the stork with the Sun, Lily, and Rider, this is beautiful. There's some excellent progress, probably achievement. It sounds like it affects your life or your career, and I would say also possibly your health or your energy. You know, it sounds like you've got like a boost of enthusiasm this week. So it's lovely for these changes. And also, Virgo, these are great cards for being active and proactive. So act on the news and embrace it and move ahead. And if you're contemplating changes, then this too is a good time for it. Now, the man with the Sun, Rider, Bird, and Rider, this is another confirmation of the positive news. We have the Bird with the Sun, the Bird and Rider, and we have the man here. So it's very clear, very straightforward. There's good news, there's contact, there's communication, things pick up, you get the green light, and things are moving forward. So it sounds like the connection is good, the news is good, the energy is good, and there's action that you can take moving forward. So these are great cards for news. Now, they can be a bit more specific, like I mentioned education or learning, or maybe something in relation to your career. In any context, these cards are looking good. And also in terms of health, there's some very good news and probably also some kind of relief here. So again, there is that sense of like an infusion of positive energy into the week and positive step forward and a good connection here. The same goes if it's a personal relationship. Maybe you didn't hear from them for a while and now this person comes through. So it's great for contact and communication, give and take, and moving forward based on this news. So pretty straightforward. Virgo, you let me know what you made of these cards, who this person is, and what the news was, or what was this that opened up, and that you're able to move ahead. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and your feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Libra, welcome to your extended line of 5 weekly reading. Let's go ahead and deal out your cards and see what it's ahead for you. Okay, Libra, here is a beautiful set of cards. This is just a lovely message all around. All the cards are beautiful. The Tower is neutral and everything and the Lily is neutral, and the rest is so bright. In the middle, we have the Star. This is a wish fulfillment card. It is all around happiness, success, and healing. And on top of that, we have the beautiful clover and the beautiful flowers, and the tree is also pretty nice. What also stands out in the cards is the Fish and Lily. And these are cards that typically point to your work, your money, and your business. So this could be quite an abundant week where you feel you're doing really well, where you're seeing the rewards of your effort. Money could be coming in. You could be expanding or doing better all around. So very beautiful messages here. Now the lily with the clover and star is very much about healing and wish fulfillment. You're definitely on the right track. And the tree supports this, and the flowers, with the flowers, it's very much about this blooming energy where we're seeing the results. It's great for work, for health. It's also great for your personal energy and inner healing. And because the lily is often a card of work and career, you could be doing really well on the job or with your career direction, and you could be growing, maybe getting a promotion, and all of these wonderful possibilities. The fish with the star is great for financial success. It's great for doing well and being abundant. And with the tower, this is great for long-term security and protection. And it could also be in relation to your work, your business, because the tower is also a card of these sorts of environments, because it's often associated with official spaces. And so the cards are very clear that you're doing really well financially, work-wise, business-wise, in your life in general. It sounds like you're on the right track for wealth or security or a sense of abundance. So these are very beautiful cards. And I have to add also, Libra, that the tower can be a card of, when it comes with the fish, it's a card of pensions, retirement, and long-term planning along with the lily. So that could also be in focus. Now, the clover with the fish, tree, and tower is another suggestion that the long-term view is in focus, and also that you're very much on the right track. So really great cards for finances, for well-being and success. And the lily with the fish, flowers, and tower is similar. We have a clear message of success, of productivity, of healing, and also a great combination for doing well on the job in your career. It's also a message, Libra, to stick with what you're doing because you're on the right track. So again, what you're doing is paying off, it's heading in the right direction, and also what you had been doing is on the right track and is also paying off. So really beautiful cards across the board. They are lovely for any context, but the lily and fish bring out this work, money, and business context, and the tower and tree bring up this focus over the long term. So beautiful cards, wonderful cards for success, and wonderful cards for abundance. I certainly hope this resonates with you, Libra. Let me know in the comments how they played out for you. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what's ahead for you. Okay, Scorpio, here is your extended line of 5. And like I've seen, I think in a couple, maybe a bit more signs this week, there is the whip that figures in some of the readings and on the side. At the same time, we have some very bright cards in your spread. The clover in the middle and the sun. These are awesome cards. And we do have these that are a little bit challenging, but with the clover in between, I think it takes on a different meaning. So let's back up and see what's going on. So we've got the dog, sun, and clover. This is great for a relationship, for a colleague, or for a sibling, or whoever at your level. Usually the dog is like someone in your peer group. And with the sun and clover, these are very beautiful messages of success and healing and all around happiness, really. The child points to a new beginning. And so this could be a new relationship, or perhaps you're considering something new with this person, but the whip is challenging. So the whip would contradict this, and I would say, Scorpio, that maybe this isn't the right time for a fresh start. Everything is working out, but this new step might be mistimed, or it might have some issues. So we can see here that there are some challenges. Now the fox and bird, each of these cards can be negative on its own, especially the fox, but they can also be either neutral or in some contexts even positive. So the fox is a card of deception normally. It points to someone who is not transparent and who has an agenda. So they want something. But with the clover, you're able to see through that. And the bird is a card of communication. So I think you might blow their cover in a softer way. and maybe a conversation is due. And the cards, though, they can take on a more positive suggestion because the fox is also a card of work and jobs. So if you're after a job, and this may well be the case, you could be in for an interview or a conversation, and you get that opportunity. Now, all of this sort of changes a little bit when we take the whip into consideration. So there could be a couple of things here. Either, Scorpio, you have choices, and you're going to say yes to one or yes to another, or you're going to turn it down because it's not aligned with you, or perhaps there's a better opportunity coming down the line, or maybe it's not the right time. But I can't say that it falls through because we have too many bright cards here that can counter the whip. So it's got to be one of those, either options or something better coming along, or maybe not the right time right away within the week. In another sense also, it's possible that maybe if you're in a position to hire, or you're looking to bring someone on board, or looking to collaborate with someone, there could be someone you turn down, maybe in favor of others. So again, the same idea of having options or not the right time and these sorts of adjustments right now. But we certainly see that there are wonderful steps and wonderful, a lot of progress here, and certainly an opportunity that works really well for you. The Sun, Fox, Child, and Bird is lovely for a new job, a new project, a new colleague, a new customer, or maybe a new connection. And the Bird is great for having a conversation and discussing things. But on the outer diamond here, we've got the Dog, Fox, Whip, and Bird, and this could be a bit more difficult. So these outer cards, they exclude the bright ones totally. And we see here that there could be a challenge with this person, there could be a difficult conversation, they could be someone who tried to work against you, or played out a scam on you, or a trap. So this is clearly why you want to be careful of certain people in certain contexts, and also why you might want to be ready to have a conversation and confront this person. But something else that comes to mind, Scorpio, is that perhaps you are in for, like, a person is maybe envious or is working against you or trying to compromise your success. So that's the reason why you want to stand up to the situation and to this person. That's a possible scenario, but really these cards in the middle, the Sun, Clover, and Child, they are very bright and they really shine a lot of light. So if there are naysayers or negative people or people who are going to try to block you or stop you, these need to get out of the way, Scorpio, and you need to embrace your beginning. And the other options are the ones we mentioned earlier, having choice and either taking a step now or a bit later, and maybe something better coming up. But beautiful opportunities, a wonderful new beginning. Beware of certain naysayers, and also make sure you time things right and you make the right choice. I think you definitely will. And also don't hesitate to draw a line, stand your ground, and create healthy boundaries with others. Now, in terms of context, Scorpio, this is flexible. The Fox and Dog, especially the Fox, they bring up work situations, jobs, employment, and so on. But the cards can apply in relationships where maybe a certain relationship doesn't pick up just yet, or maybe certain people are out versus those that you stick with. And the same idea applies in other contexts. So in terms of timing, I don't think this week is great timing. Also, things are falling into place almost magically. And in terms of options, well, you have options, so you're going to have to turn something down in favor of another. So lovely cards. I certainly hope you see it this way. Embrace this new beginning, but also be ready to see through certain people and potentially their negative intentions. Very best of luck with the week, Scorpio. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your extended line of 5. It's looking largely neutral, but we do have the beautiful key at the top, which is a card of success and opportunity and unlocking potential. The moon is also nice and gentle, and the other cards are more or less neutral. So what really stands out is the scythe in the middle of your lines. The scythe is a card of separation, break-offs, and it's pretty sharp. So it changes everything. Like if it weren't For the Scythe, especially in the middle, these are easygoing cards that point to being on the right track and being chill and really aligned really with everything. But the Scythe is a very strong energy that changes all of that. And what it tells us is that you're in for a big change, a radical change. So the status quo is going to change. You could be moving away from a certain environment. You could be changing your ways. You could also be changing jobs. You could also be moving because of the mountain. So the Scythe and the surrounding cards, or in the context of the surrounding cards, they bring a lot of it brings a lot of powerful energy here, and there could be a few things happening. Now, the Mountain and Lily can suggest a life abroad. Maybe you have a life in another location, or you have some kind of, maybe a home somewhere else, or family, or work. You know, you have some kind of connection in another location. Now, the Scythe can mean that you change that connection, or that you move, or that you let it go. And the Moon and Tower suggests an adjustment over the longer term. So the thing about the Tower is that it is often a card of the past, but with the Moon and Scythe, or the Scythe especially, you might want to let go. The Moon is a gentle card, so it softens the edge of the whip of the Scythe a little bit, and it points to an adjustment and a change. And also what's important here is that you keep focused on the long-term vision. It's true with the Lily, and it's true with the Tower. So the first line brings a lot of possible changes, change of your lifestyle, where you live, or some kind of connection abroad, change of the status quo in order to adjust for something that is more aligned with your long-term vision. Now, the key with the Scythe is great for a breakthrough. So it's great for getting a solution or getting insight, and it could be a combination of opportunity. The Scythe and Garden, though, is very much separating from a place. The Garden is a card of community, people, environments, networks, and so on. And there's a break off here. Now, it could also be a breakthrough where you get a lucky opportunity, or you get a push or access into a certain environment. But certainly the Scythe brings changes. Now, the diamonds are lovely because we don't have the energy of the Scythe in them. The Lily, Key, Moon, and Garden. This is great for being successful, being popular, being known for something, for probably in relation to your work and career. You could also get an offer or an invitation. It could be a professional situation, or usually with the Lily, it's something professional. And the Mountain, Key with the Tower and Garden, it can mean that some place from the past brings answers. So again, we're seeing here there's a realization, or there's a sharp break from something from the past, or something in relation to another location. And so with the Key, you get answers, you get clarity, you can take action, and you can make the changes that you want. I also think that you're going to get the input, or the help that you need, the insight that you need in order to break through and make these realizations. So these are great cards for a swift change, but it sounds that it's not only a change, Sagittarius, but it's a push forward. You know, it's like a breakthrough that elevates you, that improves situations. And it's really the Key that supports this, but also there's the flow, and you know, the inner diamond, which has a sense of longevity and power, and the Tower. So I think it's more than just the Key. It's really how these cards are operating together, suggesting that you're in for a breakthrough and a step up. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I think here, or this week, you need to be decisive. It's going to be key not to wobble, and it's going to be key to be quick-witted, and also to be quick to adjust. And also, while this sharp change is happening, Sagittarius, you don't want to lose sight of your long-term goals, your long-term focus and direction. So whatever changes happen, whatever opportunity you embrace, always keep that perspective to make sure that everything is aligning together, because this could be quite an opportunity. The cards are also great for health. They're great for connections as well with the Garden, and most importantly, I think they're great for a sense of improvement and empowerment mainly. Let me know what you make of these ideas, Sagittarius. I always look forward to your thoughts, your comments, how you resonated with these readings, if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello Capricorn, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay Capricorn, these are lovely cards. We've got the letter right in the middle, but not only that, we have the bird and book, which also support the element of news, especially the book in these combinations. And we have the beautiful clover and sun on either side here, which points to some really good news. So there's pretty straightforward. There's some really good news, makes you happy all around, and it can apply in any context. The lily typically points to your lifestyle, your work, your career. And it's also great for health and overall well-being. So these are some really good cards. Earlier, we have the coffin. So the coffin points to a delay. What we're seeing here is that things were on hold, or it's been a while and you'd been waiting on it. But the clover is often a card that points to a blessing in disguise. When it comes with negative or somewhat negative cards, the clover suggests that there's a good reason for it. So with the coffin and clover, you're in luck, that it was meant to be, first of all, and second, it's also going to be turned around. So the delay is over. We have the letter right in the middle with the beautiful sun, which points to good news, and the lily, which affects your life, your lifestyle, your career, your health, your overall well-being in a very positive way. Now the bird and book don't add too much here, because they sort of confirm the letter, and they confirm that this is about news, communication, contact. The thing about the letter and book is that it can suggest important news. So it suggests that the news is a big deal, and it can also suggest that things come quickly. So after this phase or this time of delay, you should hear some really good news. The inner and outer diamonds are similar. We have the clover, bird, sun, and book. Again, this is a very positive revelation, very positive news. The coffin with the bird, lily, and book, again, things are coming through after a time when things were on hold and mysterious. The bird is, that announcement, that contact, that communication, that brings things through. So like I said, the lily can be a card of work. So in that case, it could be an offer or great news about your job or your work. And it's great for health. So maybe you're waiting on some results or some answers, and you get some really good insights here. And just for your life in general, it's great news. So in terms of context, the cards are really flexible, but it's very clear that there's some very good news, contact, communication, or even interaction that is very bright and very positive for you. So just be patient a little bit longer, Capricorn, and hopefully it comes through soon enough. Lovely, lovely set of cards. Let me know what you made of them, what news this was, or what the positive aspect here was about, if you're willing to share. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and your feedback. Very best of luck with the week, Capricorn. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay Aquarius, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking a little bit turbulent because we have the whip in here. We have the whip with the ship, with the road, and then with the ring. The anchor and tree are quite solid though, so it sounds like you are gonna have the strength and support to make some changes, and possibly some serious ones. So earlier we have the tree with the moon and ship, and this is lovely for being like sailing through peacefully and being on the right track. But then we see the whip and ring. So that's pretty clear that there is a challenge, there's a disagreement. But what I also think is happening here, Aquarius, is that it sounds like you're getting out of a relationship or a commitment. So you'd been going with it, you had been moving forward, everything, you were doing your thing. and you were probably giving it a chance and doing your part. But with the whip and ring, there could be a fallout. There could be a fall through. You could decide you get out of this relationship, or perhaps the relationship or the other party, gets out of it. So something falls through, and it sounds like this is going to cause a change of direction. Now, the middle column is a little bit different. We have the road, ship, and anchor. This is a great combination for arriving at your destination. So it's likely that you've gotten out of this what you needed, and that you've given it your best, and that you've arrived to what you want. And this could be part of why you decide to make a break. Now, the whip in here, being a typically challenging card, can mean that the other party doesn't expect this, or that they take it in a bit of a challenging way. But if you've gotten out of it what you need, Aquarius, then it's time to move on. And what's also possible is that you might need to be a bit more forceful to get the point across, to let go. That too is possible. Now, the moon with the road, whip, and anchor. So again, we're seeing the whip in here, and it can point to a bumpy road, a bumpy journey. But with the moon and anchor, you've got stability on the inside. So you're able to weather these challenges. You're able to deal with them. The tree with the road, ring, and anchor, though, is very good for being on the right track, and also for being in a solid relationship. So actually, Aquarius, it's also possible that the challenges that you're going through are not meant to deter you from sticking with your path. That's another scenario. And then the first scenario we suggested is that you want to get distraction out of the way. If you've gotten to the bottom of something, you need to move on in order to continue focusing on what's your priority. So it depends on your specific situation and the details of what you're working through, Aquarius, but you're on the right track. And you know what you're after, and you know what you want, and you know your priorities. So if there are challenges in the face of that, in the way of that, you'll be able to see through and work on resolving them. But if there's distraction that's in the way of you focusing on your goals and your path, you'll also know how to deal with it. So the cards, in terms of context, they can apply in different situations. I feel it's mainly about your work, your journey, the things you're going after. And so in this context, what we said applies pretty well. It could also be about a relationship, like a more personal connection here because of the ring. Now, the whip is quite difficult when it comes up with relationships, so there can be a disagreement or something difficult. But because of the rest of the cards, like the anchor and ring, and the road and ring, and these solid cards here, it's likely, Aquarius, that you're able to get the point across, deal with the issue, but also maintain the relationship. I'm pretty sure about that. But again, it might depend on your specific situation, but seeing the ring at the end of the line with the support of these cards here, I think there's a pretty good chance that you're able to maintain the relationship. So it's a good week to deal with any issues and to remain focused on your priorities. One more thing I can suggest is travel. The road and ship can be travel cards. So maybe you're going somewhere after waiting, or after planning it possibly, and you need to maybe get to some place or explore a place. Again, it could be a bit bumpy, it could be a bit stressful, but it sounds like you're gonna come out of this trip or this journey with what you want. So quite a lot maybe going on for you this week, Aquarius. Let me know how it played out for you, what the issue was, and if you're able to maintain good focus, and if you were traveling. I look forward to your thoughts as always. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Pisces, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking a little bit negative with a certain person, but it's not without a sense of peace and a sense of confidence in yourself and centeredness. And that mainly comes through the tree, especially at the end of the line. The tree is a powerful card for a sense of strength, inner strength especially, and being strongly grounded. And the woman and dog clearly bring up people, The letter is about news. The mouse and clouds are a little bit challenging. So it sounds like there's going to be some complications here with a person or some news here. Now, the moon with the mouse and letter can point to disappointing news to some extent, or maybe an offer is questionable, because the moon and letter point to an offer, but the mouse is a bit negative here. So it can point to either that the offer isn't good, or perhaps that the offer, you don't get the offer. But also there could be some fine print, I think, that needs to be reviewed also with the clouds. Now, the dog and tree is quite lovely for a relationship, for the connection. It's peaceful, it's on a good footing. So it sounds like you could take a bit more time to figure things out here through this news or this offer or this interaction, and also let it sit. So there's no need to worry too much about it. There's no need to try to force anything. It's really about taking a step back and letting things unfold. Now, the woman with the letter and clouds is similar to the mouse, letter, and dog. Again, there's some issues with the news or some complications here, and the woman is this person who is in focus. The mouse with the woman, dog, and clouds focuses more on the quality of the relationship here, Pisces, and it sounds like this is a bit questionable. They're a bit of a headache. They're a bit negative. There could be some doubts here, and maybe these need to be figured out. The moon with the woman, tree, and clouds is brighter because we have both the moon and tree, which are lovely cards, and especially the tree being on the right here, it helps overcome the challenges of the clouds. So again, we're seeing that there are a bit of a negative interaction, or maybe some disappointing news, or some issues with the communication here, but the way through is with patience and gentleness, and also giving it a bit more time so that it resolves. So we're seeing that your response to this news or this interaction is really to stay cool and to maintain your peace and maintain your sense of centeredness. On this note, Pisces, I'm thinking that if someone is trying to drag you into their negativity or their drama, let's say, I don't think you should answer to that. Be calm and peaceful and be nice and gentle, but don't be sucked into anyone's drama. So the tree is really good for that sense of strength, and inner peace. So it really helps with telling us how you approach the situation. And something that I want to emphasize also, Pisces, is that the mouse and clouds are challenging, but they're not the most challenging of cards. So they can be, they highlight the issues, they bring up, some doubts and question marks, but they're not dramatic. They do invite you to focus on detail, to read the fine print, and also to be careful, like alert, and to think through things, but they're not dramatic. Now, in terms of personal relationships, I feel that here the same idea apply, that you want to take your time with this person. They're a bit negative, but again, you don't want to be sucked into their negativity, and you just want to maintain that peaceful attitude in general. So overall, Pisces, a bit of a bump here, but nothing too dramatic, nothing of a big deal here. Just focus on the details, take it easy, and also let time do its thing a little bit. And remember, don't be sucked into anyone's drama, but this doesn't mean that you don't focus on the details where you need to. So pay attention to what's between the lines, to the fine print, to the smaller things. It's probably going to be important. So let me know what you make of this, Pisces. Let me know in what context these cards played out for you. Was this something personal, or was it a work-related matter, or something else? As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.